Shri Haidakhandi, Bhagwan Ki Jai. Welcome to the 6th day of Spring Navratri. We're grateful to be here. We're inside because of close to gale force winds outside. Everything was blowing away as we set it up. So here we are having an indoor fire ceremony, more quiet. And today is day 6, and on day 6, the aspect of the Divine Mother that we offer is Katyani, who is the daughter of the sage Katyana. He worshipped Ambika to grant protection from all evil forces to the society. And pleased by his tireless penance and oblations to the fire, the goddess appeared and asked him to ask for any boon. Katyan replied, "If you will be born as my daughter and protect the world from the demons, the Asuras, it will be a great fortune." The deity smiled and gave him his desired boons. Goddess Katyani is none other than Mahasur Mardini, the slayer of the buffalo demon who terrorized even Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Katyani is a ferocious warrior form of the goddess, whose name itself terrorizes the negative forces. She's ferocious but compassionate at heart. Katyani is the spiritual fire in a human being who takes down the 6 enemies of kama, lust, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, moha, attraction, mada, pride, matsarya, jealousy. Mahesur is a unified form of these enemies, hence he can only be slayed by the divine consciousness, which is Mother Katyani. She holds the Chandrasa sword, who destroys negativity and grants meditative mind. Katyani is the great power of transformation, who transforms compulsions into positive actions. She refines the inner nature of a spiritual aspirant and makes him or her fearless to go deeper into the spiritual depths of their own self. On this auspicious occasion of Mahashastati, the 6th day, we invoke the blessings of the 6th manifestation of Devi Durga, Mata Katyani. Katyani Devi Ki Jai. Bole Baba Ki Jai. Om Pavitra Pavitra Vasava Sangato Piva Yasmara Puradikaksham Savipyam Tarasuchi Om Puradikaksha Pudantu Om Ganganapate Nama Om Ganganapate Nama Om Ganganapate Nama. Om Babaji, Divine Mother, please be with all of us as we offer today's fire ceremony. Pramanan will be doing the puja and Ramloti, the mantras, and we want to offer this fire, all of us together, to say thank you to you for everything that you give to us. Everything. Even the cold, freezing wind that was so cold, but all of the graciousness and love and kindness, friendship, nourishment, and extreme beauty and good moisture, and even the teachings that sometimes are very hard. So thank you. And today is the 27th of March, 2023, and we're here at the Haidakhandi Universal Ashram in Crestone, Colorado, United States of America. And we also want to remember all the people who are in need of prayers, who have asked for prayers. Anchana's little boy who's sick with high fever, and other people who are sick, and Marge, who's in hospice. So many people are needing your prayers and your help. People around the world, and plants and animals around the world who are suffering from drought and fires and wars, having to flee countries, and discrimination, and so many things, violence. Please help us all, Baba. Wrap your arms, Mother, around us all. And beautiful Mother Nature, who's also laboring under the duress of our unconsciousness. Please help us all walk upon her with greater care and love, and reverence. So Bole Baba Kite. Om Shri Samba Sadashivaya Satgurave Nama Avahanam Samarpyami. Babaji, please be with us for the time of our yagya. Asanam Samarpyami. Come from the Himalayas and sit once again with us in your asana in Harakan and all the asanas around the world that have been made ready for you. Om Shri Samba Sadashivaya Satgurave Namastanam Samarpyami. Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayobhavaya Cha Namah Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha. Om, anybody that would like to wash the moon. Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayobhavaya Cha Namah Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushtivaranam Udvar Rukamiva Bandana Ritur Mukshya Amrita. Om Panchamrit Sanam Samarpyami. Sadashivaya Satgurave Namah. Shurajal Sanam Samarpyami. Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayobhavaya Cha Namah Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha. You're going to need more water. Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushtivaranam Udvar Rukamiva Bandhanam Mritur Mukshya Amrita. Shri Samba Sadashivaya Satgurave Namah. Asanam Samarpyami. Shri Samba Sadashivaya Satgurave Namah. Sugandhim Samarpyami. Om Shri Samba Sadashivaya Satgurave Namah Yagyo Pavitam Samarpyami. Om Agnaye Shiste Kute Namaswaha. Om Vardinim Agnim Abhayami Pujami. Om Chandanam Samarpyami. Samba Sadashivaya Satgurave Namah. Kumkumam Samarpyami. Sadashivaya Satgurave Namah Aksatan Samarpyami. Namah Pushpamalam Samarpyami.
Is there a front and back?
Really good, these sort of things. And Shri Sambha Sadashiva Satguru Namah Pushpam Samarpyami. Sambha Sadashiva Satguru Namah Dupam Samarpyami. Sambha Sadashiva Satguru Namah Nadiryam Samarpyami. Pranayasva, Udanayasva, Abhanayasva, Sonayasva, Dhyanasva. Bolo Shri Haidakhandi Bhagwan. Now we'll begin with the offerings. Maybe a little bit more before we get started. So we'll make the offerings with flower petals under hand, but actually try not to put them on the flame, just around. Yeah, leaving out the ego figure. Bolo Shri Haidakhandi Bhagwan Ki Jai. Om Gananatva Ganapati Gumhava Mahe Priyanatva Priyapati Gumhava Mahe Nidhi Natva Nidhipati Gumhava Mahe Vasamam Atmajani Garbhadam Atmajasi Garbhadam Swaha.
Swaha.
You're good? You don't want flowers? Okay. Om Ganganapati Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vakrachundaya Hum Fat Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Gunguru Vyo Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Trayambakam Nijavahe Sugandham Pushtivadanam Udvarukamiva Bandhanat Mritor Mukshayam Amritat Swaha. Trayambakam Nijavahe Sugandham Pati Vedanam Udvarukamiva Bandhanat Dito Mukshayam Amritat Swaha. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevyaya Dhimahi Tana Rudrat Chodayat Swaha. Om Ring Shring Haidakhandi Namah Swaha. Om Ring Namo Bhagavate Mahamanindra Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahamanindra Ring Haidakhandi Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Shri Satgurave Namah Swaha. Om Kailash Giri Vare Ramye Nivasantam Shushanti Tatmunim Satyatam Bande Satya Karunya Rupinam Swaha. Om Yasa Smarnamatrena Ziro Bhavati Saraka Satgurum Dhaman Bande Haidakhanda Vasinim Swaha. Om Yasa Kripaka Chanshana Danyo Bhavati Manava Tasya Padarikam Pranamani Nirantaram Swaha. Om Kamalam Radiyam Yasa Kamalam Yasa Bhashanam Dando Pikamalo Yasa Kamalam Gam Namam Yaham Swaha. Om Drishyam Dayamayam Kripa Yapashati Characharam Lokapaka Nidato Ragaveshari Vachita Swaha. Satguru Sakonanda Dhyanyam Sadasharam Satyam Param Chinanandam Samsmarmi Hisabada Swaha. Om Hariya Reva Hariya Bhakto Hariya Dhyan Parayanam Hariya Namam Ritam Pipa Hariya Dam Badam Rachat Swaha. Om Yodadati Chabalanam Satganam Trusurdalamam Sava Satani Noapi Trame Kamabalam Banam Swaha. Om Mahama Chandarupinam Noadvanta Vinashaka Sava Bhuta Raposi Mahendra Sa Chujivanam Swaha. Om Ananda Rupam Shri Shakti Diktam Vidyam Param Brahmasana Bhutyam Karunya Purnam Gurumurti Rupam Devim Namaha Jagadishwari Tvam Swaha. Om Mam Raksha Taksha Nityam Jagadabalambe Tomeva Satyam Jagachiva Nimata Sansara Chamaja Roga Vidyam Madhyam Vajaya Dakandavasinim Swaha Om Shrim 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 Swaha Om Shrim 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 Swaha Om Shrim 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 Swaha Om Hrim 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 Swaha Om Hrim 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 Swaha Om Hrim 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 Swaha Om Klim 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 Swaha Om Klim 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 Swaha Om Klim 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 Swaha Om Shri Mahadev Parvati Sharanam Swaha Om Shri Mahadev Parvati Sharanam Swaha Om Shri Mahadev Parvati Sharanam Swaha Om Shrim Hrim Klim Aim Kamalavasane Swaha Om Shrim Hrim Klim Aim Kamalavasane Swaha Om Shrim Hrim Klim Aim Kamalavasane Swaha Om Bambatkaya Apadudanaya Kuru Guru Batkaya Bam Om Namah Shivaya Swaha Bambatkaya Apadudanaya Kuru Guru Batkaya Bam Om Namah Shivaya Swaha Bambatkaya Apadudanaya Kuru Guru Batkaya Bam Om Namah Shivaya Swaha Indra Vacha Namaste Sri Mahamaye Shripate Surapuchate Shanka Chakra Garahaste Lakshmi Namostute Swaha Namaste Guruda Adude Kul Asura Vayamkare Saga Papa Hare Devi Malakshmi Namostute Swaha Sarvagan Sarvavadade Savadusta Vayamkare Savaduka Hare Devi Malakshmi Namostute Swaha Siddhi Bhukti Pradaya Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayani Mantra Putra Sada Devi Malakshmi Namostute Swaha Manta Rihita Devi Adya Shakti Mahashwari Yoga Jaya Yoga Samute Malakshmi Namostute Swaha Stula Sukshma Maharodre Mahashakti Mahodade Mahapapa Hare Devi Malakshmi Namostute Swaha Padma Asana Shute Devi Parabrahma Swarupani Parmashi Jaganmatar Malakshmi Namostute Swaha Sveta Ambara Dare Devi Nana Lankara Dushite Jagatsiti Jaganmatar Malakshmi Namostute Swaha Om Ring Shring Haidakhandi Namah Swaha Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namah Swaha Om Ambaye Namah Swaha Om Anandrupaye Namah Swaha Om Parambaye Namah Swaha Om Adishsiddhaye Namah Swaha Om Durgaye Namah Swaha Om Ambikaye Namah Swaha Om Jagadamba Lambaye Namah Swaha Om Parmasaniyaye Namah Swaha Om Karlaye Namah Swaha Om Shivdaye Namah Swaha Om Gyan Murtyaye Namah Swaha Om Ishvaryaye Namah Swaha Om Yogmayaye Namah Swaha Om Shriyaye Namah Swaha Om Sardaye Namah Swaha Om Mahendriyaye Namah Swaha Om Rodraye Namah Swaha Om Matriyaye Namah Swaha Om Savitriyaye Namah Swaha Om Vedmurtyaye Namah Swaha Om Kalyaniyaye Namah Swaha Om Siddhidatraye Namah Swaha Om Varunaye Namah Swaha Om Sarvamangala-datraye Namah Swaha Om Ishtatraye Namah Swaha Om Nityaye Namah Swaha Om Taraye Namah Swaha Om Chandikaye Namah Swaha Om Jagadabalambaye Namah Swaha Om Vishveshvaryaye Namah Swaha Om Jananaye Namah Swaha Om Vardaye Namah Swaha Om Rajeshvaryaye Namah Swaha Om Shankaryaye Namah Swaha Om Shivaye Namah Swaha Om Jai Karyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Anandrupenyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shri Shakti Dikyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vidyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Paraye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Karuna Purnaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Guru Murti Rupaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Divyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sareshwaryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Parvatyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Divyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Ainkaryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Parmeshwaryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Puranaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vidyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Paramaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Mahamayaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shivjaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sarvagatyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Katyaniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Bhavtariniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Haidakhandi Vihariniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Tariniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Mahaviryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Padmaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Maheshwaryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sharanaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shivdutyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shivpriyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Mahavidyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Parmeshwaryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Mohiniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Annapurnaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sarvagatyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Tripursundaryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Chandikaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Taraswiniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Ranjandikaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Ramaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vedmurtyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Saraswatyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Yugdadiniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Bhadrakalyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Made Priyankaryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Kalyaniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Mangaladayiniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shristi Mayaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Anantyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Dhyanaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Jagadatraye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Nandyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Muktipradaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Hring Shri Mahamayaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Param Divyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Bhuvaneshwaryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Siddhi Divyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Bhavaniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Radhaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Janantyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Amritaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Krishnaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Chandarupinyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vishwamayaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Yoginiyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Indraniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Kapaliniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Varavyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Kundaliniyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Kankaliyaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Narsingayaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Ring Shring Hariakandashwaryaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shri Ram Ramaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shri Ram Ramaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shri Ram Ramaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Kling Krishnaya Govindaye Gopijana Balabaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Kling Krishnaya Govindaye Gopijana Balabaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Kling Krishnaya Govindaye Gopijana Balabaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Hang Hanamante Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Hang Hanamante Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Hang Hanamante Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Dam Datrayaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Dam Datrayaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Dam Datrayaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Gong Gorkshnataya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Gong Gorkshnataya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Gong Gorkshnataya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Bam Ramane Namah Swaha. Vishnave Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vim Vishnave Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vim Vishnave Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sang Saranaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sang Saranaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sang Saranaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sung Suryaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sung Suryaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Sung Suryaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Gangotami Gangaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Gangotami Gangaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Gangotami Gangaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Varunaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Varunaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Varunaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vayoye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vayoye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Vayoye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Vijlaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Vijlaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Vijlaye Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Indraya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Indraya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Indraya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Tulsyaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Tulsyaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Tulsyaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Nandyaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Nandyaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Nandyaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Navrahada Vibhyo Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Navrahada Vibhyo Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Navrahada Vibhyo Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Aim Ring Kling Chamundaya Vichaya 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 Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Ima Samasidavaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Ima Samasidavaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Ima Samasidavaya Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Swaha. Om Namah Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Shri Haidakhandi, Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shri Haidakhandi, Namah Swaha. Om Shri Haidakhandi, Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
These are your last five. Om Shri Sadavatabhyo Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shri Kuldavatabhyo Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shri Gramdavatabhyo Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Om Shri Standavatabhyo Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Stand on the final one. Om Hring Sarge Saparivare Sadhanye Sarayudaye Nana Vijatistrate Shima Kalye Shima Lakshmi Shima Saraswati Dasma Vidya Swarupaniye Sharakandashvariye Sharakandashvariye Cha Mahahutim Samar Piyami Namah Swaha.
Swaha.
Bolo Shri Haidakhandi Bhagwan Ki
Jai.
Jagdambe Mata Ki
Jai.
Haidakhandashvari Mata Ki
Jai.
Bolo Baba Ki
Jai.
Different angle. Yam Samarpyami. Om Pranaya Swaha. Om Udanaya Swaha. Apanaya Swaha. Somaya Swaha. Yana Swaha. Archmaniam Samarpyami. Shri Haidakhandi Bhagwan Ki Jai. Jagdambe Mata Ki Jai. Haidakhandashvari Mata Ki Jai. Jata Shankare Ha. Om Namo Parvati Pate Ha.
Om Haidakhandi, 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 Om Haidakhandi,
Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi,
Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi, Om Haidakhandi.
Bolo Shri Haidakhandi Bhagwan Ki
Jai.
Now we'll do a little chanting. It seems like we always begin with number 23. I think that's
You
what
could
we
do
did.
J,
That's all.
you could do J, and higher.
I'll practice. I'll practice. I'm sure. So we're just saying that we always start with a Ganesh chant. I guess we could try. I'll play this one for a while. There's a very beautiful one, which I will try to play. It's Jai 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 Gananaya. Anybody see what number it is?
28.
Yes, number 28. Another number. I don't think we'll play that. We'll do number 23. I'll practice and we'll play it tomorrow.
23 you said?
Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Deva. Mantarim Bhavanti Pita Mahadeva. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Deva. Mantarim Bhavanti Pita Mahadeva. Jai Ganesha, Ki Jai. So on this Shiva day, Monday, Moon Day, shall we sing another Shiva chant? How are you doing on following the chants?
Excellent, great. Sounds wonderful, Tom.
Maybe we'll keep with something a little bit simple for you, because this is your first time for doing the chanting. Let's just do number 14. That's a nice one, easy to follow. Wrong verse. The translations are right to the left, so you can just Shiva Shambho. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva Shambho. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva Shambho. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva Shambho. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Bhagwan ki jai.
Jai.
Bole Baba ki
Jai.
jai. I'll finish one with Ma, her Ma. Oh, maybe we're done. Does somebody want to finish one with Ma? You'll just play the cymbals.
Yeah.
Let's do number 1. Jiambe, Jacadambe. Jai Jai. Nandeshwari Mata Ki Jai. Vishveshwari Mata Ki Jai. Bole Bala Jai. So let's go have a story about Mother Durga. And the flame is still beautifully burning, so beautiful.
She's going to vanquish the demons, is she?
Huh?
She going to take care of the demons?
Mother Durga is going to.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
No, we just go from the Baba and here and away.
Ah, to the rescue.
We'll have a little darshan of Babaji.
Peace. Okay.
Beautiful flame.
Good enough, we'll find it.
So we're going to have a discourse now, if you'd like to hear a story. Sure. And that would be a big lunch after. So this way you'll build up your appetite by listening to this. It's a love story, but also it's a little bit of war too. It's all about the one that takes place inside of us. That close together. This Saraswati Mata Ki Jai. So if you're comfortable or if you need a pillow or a chair, you're good, great. So I'm actually gonna be reading this from two different books. Because it's a very long story and often I break it into 2 days. But this Swami Purana by Swami Satchidananda Saraswati, he sort of condenses it, but there's a few passages that are just too beautiful to miss. So we'll begin our story. He's calling it the story of Sudarsana. There was once a king of Ayodhya named Pushpa. He had a dharmic son named Dhruva Sandhi, who upheld the traditions of the solar dynasty. Dhruva Sandhi was an ideal king in every way. He was truthful, religious, and constantly engaged in seeking the welfare of his community. Under his leadership, the kingdom of Ayodhya flourished. Dhruva Sandhi had 2 wives, whom he loved very greatly. The first was Manorama, the daughter of Ursina, the king of the country of Kalinga. The second was Lilivati, the daughter of Udachit, the king of the county of Ujjain. Both of the wives were very beautiful, and both were very much beloved by the king Dhruva Sandhi. Both wives conceived nearly at the same time, but Manorama was the first to give birth to a handsome son named Sudarsana, which means excellent intuitive vision. Less than a month later, Lilavati gave birth to her son, whom they called Satyajit, the victor over enemies. Dhruva Sandhi was the happiest monarch alive, and he united his family with so much love and joy. He loved his 2 wives immensely, and he loved his 2 sons equally. One day, while the children were still young, the king went out hunting in the forest, and he thoroughly enjoyed himself according to the customs of the kings of that era. While he was hunting, an enraged lion suddenly attacked him. He fought valiantly with his sword, but the lion tore at his flesh with his sharp claws. The king's servants shot arrows at the lion, but by the time the lion stopped, the king had been mangled to death. The soldiers shot more arrows at the lion and killed him. Thereafter, the soldiers sent a message to the ministers, and the ministers counseled with the guru Vasista that they should install the young king, or prince, Sudarsana, the oldest of the two sons, on the throne. Immediately, both of the grandfathers, the king Virasena and Udajit, came to Ayodhya along with their armies to lobby for the succession of their daughter's sons. Udajit accused Guru Vasistha of conspiring with Virasena to get the throne for Sudarsana out of greed for wealth. Becoming angry at the prospect of Satyajit's being denied the kingdom, he challenged Virasena to a battle. Tributary princes came along with their armies, and the stage was set for a battle of the proportions of the Mahabharata. The nation went to war in a terrible battle of secession, and there were as many soldiers as stars in the sky. The blood from the wounded and dead ran like a river, and there were uncountable casualties in the war. Ultimately, King Udajit shot an arrow which severed the head of King Virasena from his body, and Satyajit was declared the king. Hearing the news of her father's death, Manorama was filled with fright for the safety of her own son. Quickly, she bundled Sudarsana in ragged clothing and fled from the kingdom. They wandered in the forest for many days until they came to Chitrakoot, where they took refuge in the hermitage of the Rishi Bharadvaja. The sage Bharadvaja said, "To give protection to one in distress is to gain merits even greater than those acquired by performing sacrifice. Then to protect one who is very much afflicted by fear for their personal safety, who is helpless and has no other place to go, should produce even greater merits. You may stay here in this ashram and raise your son. I shall assume the responsibility of your protection." Then Manorama was freed from her anxiety and dressed in the apparel of the other Tapasvinis, which are the women of the ashram. She began to raise and educate her son in the Muni's ashram. Meanwhile, Udajit installed his daughter's son upon the throne of Ayodhya and appointed loyal ministers to administer the kingdom on behalf of the young child. He then returned to his own land in Ujjain. Some time had passed when Udajit learned through his spies that Manorama had been raising her son Sudarsana in Bharadvaja's ashram. He immediately set out with a great army, determined once and for all to settle the matter of the ascendancy to the throne of Ayodhya by his grandson. Udajit determined to kill the minor son of Manorama so that there could be no further question of a claim to the throne. With that objective in mind, he proceeded to the ashram. His army encircled the hermitage with great force, and then the king pounded on the ashram gate. "O Muni, open your gate and give us Manorama and her son," bellowed the king. The rishi replied to Udajit, "O king, Manorama and her son, Sudarsana, have taken refuge in this ashram. He is a minor child, and she has been overcome by fear. Please return to your homes and leave us to live in peace. They are no threat to you at this point." The king called back, "I will never let them live. If you do not give them to me willingly, then I will take them by force." The rishi said, "If you desire to take them by force, then there is nothing that I can do. But the results will be the same as when King Vishvamitra tried to take the cow from Vasistha's ashram," answered the rishi. Seeing the rishi's resolve, Udajit summoned his prime minister. "What happened to the king Vishvamitra?" he asked. The prime minister said, "My king," replied the minister, "please do not argue with the rishi. King Vishvamitra was totally destroyed when he tried to take Vasistha's cow. My king, let us return to our homes. There is no difficulty they can create at this point. Wait until the time is right, and then we will strike." Hearing the minister's advice, the king Yudhishthira bowed down to the Guru and returned to his native land. Manorama was freed from fear, and Sudarsana took his education and initiation and performed tapasya under the direction of the sages. Sudarsana became an expert in many branches of learning and received the darshan of the Divine Mother. He served his own mother with great devotion and meditated along the banks of the Ganges near Chitrakoot on that beautiful Divine Mother. The king of Benares, a nearby kingdom, his name was Sabahu, had a very beautiful daughter named Sasikala, which means the particle of the moon. One day, Sasikala heard of a wonderful prince endowed with all auspicious qualities, as beautiful as the god of love, full of heroism and charm, living in the forest with the name of Sudarsana. Sasikala began to dream of this prince of peace, and began to love him, and began to desire him as her husband. One day she had a dream that the Divine Mother appeared to her and said, "Ask the boon from me, and Sudarsana, who is my devotee, he will fulfill your dreams." Sasikali woke, and her face was covered with bliss. Everyone noticed the special radiance. Her mother and friends asked her about it, but she was too modest to speak. One day when Sasikali was sitting in the garden, she saw a sannyasi coming into the city. She went to that sadhu and requested, "Oh, noble sir, where are you coming from?" The sadhu replied, "I'm coming from the forest area of Chitrakoot, where I dwell in the ashram of Rishi Bharadvaja. I have one errand to perform in the city." Sasikali asked, "What is in the forest area of Chitrakoot, which has extraordinary beauty that is worth describing?" she inquired. The sadhu replied, "The most wonderful thing in that forest," he replied, "is the prince Sudarsana, the son of Manorama and King Drupasandi. He is endowed with all auspicious qualities and in every way is the most fitting husband for a princess like you." Sabahu's daughter, Sasikali, became submerged in a sea of love. She could think of nothing else. She began to recite the mantra, the goddess Saraswati, Om Sam Saraswatiaye Namah, and began to feel the blessings of the goddess. Sudarsana continued his tapasya and his dedication and mantras and prayers to the Divine Mother, and became extremely accomplished and blessed. Wherever he went in the forest, because of the power of his spiritual discipline, it seemed as though he was accompanied by a full contingent of soldiers. He became pure and peaceful, yet he projected strength and power. Still, he only used his powers for good. By living in the forest and by constantly meditating on the Divine Mother, Sudarsana realized a great happiness, greater than those who obtain the sovereignty of a huge kingdom. Finding that his daughter Sasikali had become perplexed by love, Sabahu called for the festival of her Swayambara, the ceremony of choosing her husband. When Sasikali saw the preparations being made for the ceremony, she went to her father and said, "Father, I have already seen in my dream that the Divine Mother has instructed me to marry Sudarsana, the son of Manorama and the king Drupasandi. Therefore, please do not make this public display." Her father became very angry and said, "Sudarsana is an unprotected minor, exiled in the forest. He has no kingdom, no army, no wealth. He lives eating roots and fruits with his mother and the munis of the forest. Not only that, his grandfather, Virasena, was slain by Yudhishthira, the king of Ujjain. And Yudhishthira has vowed to kill Sudarsana at his first opportunity to prevent any controversy regarding the throne of Ayodhya. I will not permit such a marriage for my daughter." Sasikali again told her mother. The king, Saryati, gave his daughter, and he's talking about previous stories which some of you may have heard or maybe will tell, tomorrow. The king Saryati gave his daughter Sukanya to the blind Chivana Muni as his wife. The goddess Bhagavati has already told me in a dream that Sudarsana will be my husband. A woman can attain liberation if she surrenders completely to her husband. Therefore, I shall live in whatever way my husband lives. Do not deny me my dharma. Sudarsana will be my husband. Before the event of her Swayambara, Sasikali became very anxious. She summoned one Brahmin and requested him to deliver her message to Sudarsana. She said, "Please come quickly. My father has called for my marriage Swayambara, but the Divine Mother has told me clearly in a dream that I am only to marry you. By mind and word and deed, I have already surrendered to you as my husband, and with the blessings of the Divine Mother, our ultimate fulfillment is assured. Please have faith in her, at whose command exists this entire universe with all that moves and moves not, and present yourself without fail." When Sudarsana received that message from Sasikala, he said to the Rishi Bharadvaja asked what he should do. Bharadvaja gave his blessings for Sudarsana to attend the festival, and Mother Manorama grieved with despair. She said, "You are my only son. Please don't leave me. Udajit has already killed your father, Virasena, killed my father, Virasena, in order to protect that kingdom, and he has vowed to slay you. You are a minor son and my only future. Please don't leave me." Sudarsana said to his mother, "Whatever the Divine Mother has ordained is destined to happen. I am the child of the Divine Mother, and I have no fear. Mother, please banish all fear from your heart." Manorama again spoke, "My son, I cannot live without you. I will accompany you to the Swayambara." So Manorama and Sudarsana received the blessings of the saints and sages and set out to Benares. The king Sabahu welcomed them with respect and provided them with a residence, as he did the other royal families. The kings were filled with wonder that Sudarsana had come alone without fear. But Udajit said that he would accept the princess's marriage to any other family, but if Sasikala would choose Sudarsana, she will become a widow on her wedding day. So now I want to read this passage from the Devi Bhagavatam because it's very beautiful. So the other kings realized that there was going to be bloodshed at this Swayambara, and that's not how it's supposed to go. And so they called Sudarsana. They had a special gathering, and all the kings were there, and they called Sudarsana over to find out what his intentions was and to inform him how serious this was. So the king of Kerala said, "Let Sudarsana be fetched here. We will ask him what he intends to do." And he said, Sudarsana was sent for and came before the glittering throng of rulers of the earth. He stood quietly there, not speaking, until one king said to him, "This is a Swayambara for royal Ksatras. The most powerful princes on earth have come here to vie for the princess's hand. We have all come with our armies, and some of us are ready to do battle for Sasikala. How have you come here unattended, bringing only your mother with you?" Another king said, "You have no kingdom, army, or wealth. You don't belong in this company. You are a hermit. Tell us how you dare come to Kasi." Sudarsana had a smile on his face. In a soft voice he said, "My friends, my lords, all that you say is true. I have no kingdom, legions, friends, or wealth. I heard of the Swayambara and I've come to watch it with no special purpose. But my lords, I did not come of my own will, but because the Divine Mother Devi Bhagavati told me to. The Devi, who is my goddess, is all of yours as well. I have no enmity with any of you. But if you decide to make an enemy of me, she who is the cause of all causes, the mother of the universe, will protect me. I only do what she asks of me. My life is in the hands of the one who spins the wheel of fate. But the king said, what you say is true, but Udajita plans to have your head. Sudarsana laughed. He said, a man is born into this world by his karma, and by fate alone does he leave it when his time has come. Not a moment before his time comes can any man be killed by any king or even by the devas. It is only Kal, time, who creates and destroys a man. I am a bhakta of the Divine Mother, from whose hands time flows. She protects me, and I fear neither Udachit nor any other man. The king saw how determined he was, and the best of them were secretly pleased. So now let's go on with the story. That's just so beautiful, and he doesn't talk about it in his story. All the kings assembled at the Swayamvar hall, and Sabahu called for his daughter to come. Then Satsikali sent a message to her father. Father, I have no desire to judge the merits and demerits of many men. I have a yearning to protect my chastity and surrender myself purely to my husband. I have already understood that the Divine Mother wants me to marry Sudarsana, and I have accepted her will. Please do not make me present myself in the public hall to make a mockery of my faith by standing before all those lustful men to judge them by their appearance alone. Please call off this event and give me in marriage to Sudarsana. Then Sabahu was plunged into dejection. He became filled with anxiety, thinking, all these kings have come here with their mighty armies looking for an excuse to start a fight. I haven't the strength to counter off all of their offensives. Their collective numbers are much too great for my forces. Sudarsana, too, is alone, a child without a wealth or army. How can I fulfill my daughter's request? How can a father who longs for the happiness of his daughter deny her request, which is in accordance with Dharma? Then Sabahu said to the assembly of kings, O kings, my daughter has refused my request to come into the Swayambara hall, even though both her mother and I have tried every method of persuasion. I am afraid she is being troublesome to me, and she will become troublesome to yourselves as well. Nobody wants to be burdened with a quarrelsome wife. Therefore, please excuse me. I cannot force her to attend, nor can I force her to choose. I am your servant. I offer you all a portion of my wealth. Please take this as a sign of my respect and return to your homes. There was silence amidst this assembly of kings. Then Udajit stood up and said, O King Sabahu, you have invited all these kings to attend the marriage ceremony, and now you are going to give your daughter to this poor, homeless Sudarsana. What kind of fool are you to make such a decision? What an insult to all the royal families assembled here that you should choose an alliance with this minor child who has no army, who is alone, has no wealth or strength over the extended hand of friendship of more powerful monarchs. Do not be a fool. Give your daughter to my grandson Sutajit, and we will have a dominion across the north of India. I have already vowed to kill Sudarsana, and if you persist in this ridiculous desire to make your daughter an early widow, then I will kill you as well. Sabahu went with his wife, and together they tried to explain the situation to Satsikali. Daughter, the kings are enraged at what they perceive to be a grave insult. They're heavily armed and are looking for some pretext to come to battle. We are in great difficulty. We do not have sufficient force to subdue their armies. Often members of the royal families have been given in marriage to assist in political alliances. Could you help out by choosing someone else? Otherwise, there is going to be bloodshed. Or let me make a contest of strength or valor so that the victor may marry you. In that case, the best man will win, and we will certainly avert calamity. The determined Sasikala replied, Father, What you propose is immoral. In my heart, my marriage has already been consummated. What you ask is that I commit adultery? Please do not make me think of such a thing. Our Dharma instructs that chastity and marital fidelity are values to be respected. Adultery is not condoned for anyone. Then why again and again are you counseling me to abandon my path of Dharma? Please, Father, put the kings off on some pretext until tomorrow, and then perform my marriage tonight with Sudarsana. Whatever the Divine Mother has planned for us, I will accept. If I am meant to live as a hermit in the forest, then I shall do so. If the goddess wants my husband to be slain in battle with his relatives, then I shall sacrifice my life as well. If it is meant that we become a royal family, then whatever the goddess will decree, that I shall accept. Hearing his daughter's obstinate resolve, Sabahu was filled with wonder at her faith, and trusting his daughter in his heart, he determined to fulfill her desire. He returned to the kings in the assembly and said, King, my daughter will not come today to be present in this assembly. Please, all of you, take your food and enjoy our hospitality. Please return tomorrow, and together we will decide on a contest that will allow the worthiest man to win the bride. All the kings agreed and returned to their respective accommodations. Meanwhile, the king Sabahu began to celebrate the marriage of his daughter. Throughout the night, he made the offerings of puja, accompanied by the recitation of the Sanskrit text by learned Brahmins, and gave his daughter the beautiful Sasikala to the beautiful Sudarsana. The bride was radiant like a second Lakshmi, and all were filled with joy and delight. When the marriage was completed, Sabahu addressed Manorama. O royal daughter, I now have become your servant. Please accept the half of my kingdom and live here with your son and daughter-in-law. By performing this marriage according to the will of God, the other kings have become our enemies. Please stay here in Benares and let me protect you. Manorama replied, O king, no words can express the joy of my heart at your generosity. No other king would have been so subservient to the will of God as to give his beautiful daughter to my impoverished son. But the rishis of the forest have proclaimed that my son will become the king of Ayodhya. Therefore, let us have faith in the Divine Mother and allow events to unfold according to her will. In the morning, the other kings learned that the marriage had been consummated, and in great anger, they went out from the city to take counsel with one another. Udajit told the kings, no one can blame me now. Sabahu lied to us. He cheated and disgraced us. Now I will certainly kill Sudarsana and Sabahu. I will take that Sasikali to give to my grandson for a wife, and all of you can plunder the kingdom. So now we'll read the end from here. I won't leave you hanging there. We'll read the end from this book, which once again is so beautiful. So much beautiful faith. Let's see where I'm going to begin here. Okay. Sabahu's soldiers brought word to Sabahu that the kings outside his cities had blockaded the gates of Kashi. Sudarsana came to his father-in-law and said, you must let us leave now. We shall go to Muni Bharadvaja's ashram first, and then decide where to go from there. Fear nothing, my lord. The Devi Bhagavati, the Divine Mother, who is the mother of the universe, protects us. What can these kings do against her power? Sabahu said, I will come with you, at least for a way. They came to the city gates, Sudarsana riding in his white chariot with Shasikala beside him, and they saw the enemy host confronting them. Sudarsana began to intone his mantra and thought fervently of the Divine Mother. All around that chariot there arose the sound of conches, the blare of trumpets, and the roll of 1,000 drummers beating up a storm. Sudarsana stood absorbed, his eyes shut. Sabahu saw that Yudichi led the blockading army with his grandson Satyajita beside him. Roaring, the enemy flew at Sudarsana's chariot, his half-brother before all the others. Arrows darkened the sky, and Sabahu plunged his forces forward, his soldiers around him to meet the enemy's charge. Suddenly a hush fell on the field, and both armies froze in the ranks. Utajita and Satyajita froze as their horses reared in alarm, winning at the strange apparition which had materialized between the two forces. An immense lion, and upon the golden beast's back rode a shimmering goddess, her luster like another sun risen on the earth. She rode her lion between the two armies, daring anyone to approach her. Sudarsana opened his eyes and murmured, "Look, Sasikala, the Divine Mother has come to protect us." Sabahu stood entranced. Udaji roared, "Who is this woman who rides a lion? What does she have to do with anything? Why is she here?" At that moment, the lion gave a roar that drowned every other sound on the field. Horses and elephants bolted, and in a moment there was channel cleared through Udachita's legions, a way along which Sudarsana now fearlessly drove his chariot. Udajit roared, "Shall we let a mere woman and one lion frighten us? Kill them, and kill that upstart Sudarsana." And he plunged at Sudarsana with his bow, flaring arrows, and Satyajita beside him, his grandson. Sudarsana held them both off for a time. Then suddenly the Divine Mother was at his side on her beast. Utajita shot his arrows at her as well, and Satyajita did as well. The Crimson Devi smiled. She raised her own bow in one of her 8 arms. With another hand, she loosed a volley at the enemy, and in a blur, both Utajita and Satyajita were dead, their heads struck off by the Divine Mother's crescent-tipped shafts. Sabahu leaped down from his chariot and prostrated himself before the Divine Mother. Again and again he lifted his head and set it down on the dust at her holy feet. "Mother Jagadambe, I have no words with which to praise you, Bhavani. Unworthy as I am, today I have seen you with my very own eyes. I see how you protected your bhaktas, O Devi. You have come yourself to save Sudarsana's life. O Apara, O Divine Mother, O Transcendent One, I lay my head at your feet. Bless my life." The Devi smiled tenderly and said to Sabahu, "King of Dharma, name your boon." "What more could any man want," he said, "than seeing you like this with his mortal eyes? Not the kingdom of the Devas is more precious than what I have seen today. I beg you, Devi, for the boon of bhakti. Let my faith in you never waver, and let your grace be upon my city forever. Bless me, Mother Durga, that I be your bhakta forever." The Devi said, "I will remain here in Kasi always, good Sabahu, for as long as Kasi stands upon the face of this earth." Sudarsana arrived and fell at the goddess's feet, tears of ecstasy flowing down his face. He worshipped her. "Mother of the sky, Mother of mercy, you have saved me today, though I have such scant faith. Let me be your servant from this day, Devi. Command me, what shall I do with my life now? Where shall I go?" Smiling, Bhagavati, the Divine Mother, said, "Have you forgotten Ayodhya, your father's city, Sudarsana? Go to Ayodhya now and rule as king of Kosalas, for that is who you are. Worship me always, Sudarsana, and I will care for you and yours. Keep a murti of me in your kingdom. Pray to it at the 3 sandhyas, and I will be with you. Celebrate the Navratri and all the pujas in autumn and spring, for this is mine. Fear nothing, Sudarsana. You are my bhakti, and I love you. Jai Mahamaya ki
Ki
jai,
jai.
Lakshmi Mata ki jai,
Jai.
Ma Durga Mata ki
Jai.
jai, Lakshmi Mata ki
Jai.
jai, Bole Baba ki
Ki jai.
Isn't that a beautiful story? And if you have the time to read the longer version, it goes on and on. It's so beautiful. So let's have darshan of the Divine Mother. She's all dressed in white. Today is Moon Day, Monday, Shiva Day. And to me, indeed, she looks like she's going to be married to Shiva today. So beautiful. Every time I looked up, I don't know, to me everything is just so, it's a beautiful day. So thank you so much for being with us. And may Mother's and Baba's love fill our hearts and all of our devotion to the Divine Mother, and we'll connect tomorrow, which will be day 7 and we'll begin puja at 8:30 in the morning to Mother Saraswati. O Bole Baba ki jai, Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Ma Durga Mata ki jai, Om Namah Shivaya.